New comic book day is around the corner once again, so it's time to take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the Pull List. It's my weekly series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you which ones I'm most excited to buy. We'll talk about books that I'm a little less excited about, and we'll even talk about some new trade paperbacks hitting the market on this Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. It's a pretty good new comic book day. I can't say it's crazy stacked, especially when we get to the on the radar section. You'll see there's not a lot of new stuff that I'm crazy excited about, but a lot of ongoing series that I do love. And so let's jump right in to the top of the pile. These are the books I'm most excited for in a given week. They're waiting for me behind the counter at my LCS, Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, North Carolina. In case you were wondering, these are books, like I said, they're waiting for me. They're in my pull box. And if I had the time, I would sit there right there behind the counter or in front of the counter and I'd read them right there in the shop. So the books that I am most excited about this week, we'll start off with something that everybody could have guessed. The Ultimates, issue number 11, written by Dennis Camp, art by Juan Frigeri. This has been my favorite series at Marvel Comics, and it's probably my favorite series in comics right now, as far as things that are ongoing. The Ultimate Universe has really been great. It's been stellar, especially as we've gotten like deeper into what is now year 2. You know, we're almost 13 issues into the Ultimates. Anyway, the point is, I've really been enjoying how the Ultimate Universe has been unfolding. And if you really want to know how things are unfolding, the Ultimates is the title you got to read, right? Like that's the one where we are dealing with the sort of universe-wide threat, the multiverse-wide threat, if you will. All the other books feel like they're kind of siloed, and so you can pick your favorite character. What I love about, any team book, but especially this one, is you get introduced to these team members, their personalities, and they're different from their 616 counterparts, and so you never know quite what you're going to get, but they do all sort of feel classic, with the exception of like major changes that are made to some of them. The Ultimates is a great book. I think I'm an issue behind because my reading pile is just that tall, but issue 11 is out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up is Absolute Batman, issue number 7. And I kind of love the Absolute Universe for the same reasons that I love the Ultimate Universe. It is a fresh jumping in point. It is a new iteration, a new take on something that you think you may know well, but I don't know if there's any book that is just taking everything you know about a character and flipping it on its head the way Absolute Batman is. Like, it's just, you don't know Batman. It is like, you know Batman, but you don't know Batman is how this goes, right? Like, Alfred is different. Everyone is different. I really love that. This issue number 7 is going to see the debut of our absolute Mr. Freeze. I think we saw him in an earlier issue, but we'll actually see like how he's doing as an adult and, how he is as a villain and whatnot. So that's going to be fun. Absolute Batman, issue number 7 out this week. Cover price is $4.99. Next at the top of the pile is Storm, issue number 7. Storm, written by Murewa Ayodele. I believe this one's got art by Luciano Vecchio. But Storm has been an amazing series. Probably my favorite solo title from the X-Men office, which I guess isn't saying a lot. Well, we've got Phoenix, we've got Wolverine, and now we got Storm. Yeah, Storm's definitely my favorite out of those 3, and it's not even close. And quite honestly, if we include main X-Men titles, it's probably top 2, might be top 1. It's the only one I'm caught up on, so there's that. Well, I was caught up on Storm until they decided to do the X-Manhunt event, and so I still got to read Storm number 6 and the X-Manhunt Omega from a couple weeks ago. I got some catching up to do. Storm number 7 out this week. Cover price is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book at the top of the pile is kind of a new entry. This could have made the on the radar section, but we got Action Comics issue 1085. Action Comics is still doing the Superman Superstars program. And so basically every 2 or 3 issues, we get a new writer telling a short story featuring Superman. This issue is giving us the debut of G. Willow Wilson, or at least this new story arc from G. Willow Wilson. I don't know if she's written Superman before or not, but why I'm excited, why it's at the top of the pile, because my man Gavin Guidry is drawing Action Comics, the first title to ever feature Superman in print. My man Gavin Guidry gets to put his mark on. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. If you are not familiar with Gavin Guidry's artwork and you're a Superman fan, check out Superman 78, The Metal Curtain. Is it the metal curtain or the steel curtain? I feel like the steel curtain is like a sports reference. The point is, the sequel to Superman 78 by Robert Venditti has art by Gavin Guidry, and it's dope. And he also just did that Gambit issue of Uncanny X-Men. I believe it was issue 12 of Uncanny X-Men. Might have been 13. So check that out. He's done several variant covers, including a variant for My Adventures of Superman. The point is, you need to see his art. And what better place to see his art than in an issue of Action Comics, than in 2 issues of Action Comics, maybe even 3. I don't know. Point is, Summer of Superman is on the way, and this is our first glimpse at it. 1085 is out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those were the books at the top of the pile, the ones I'm most excited to read. Now, let's jump into a segment I like to call On the Radar. Now, On the Radar is powered by Global Comics. They are my favorite app for reading digital comics. They've got all your favorite indie publishers, Image, IDW, Boom, all of the above, Dark Horse, Dynamite, Mad Cave. And they've also got select collected editions from DC that rotate in and out every month. So if you're looking for like just one app to throw some subscription dollars into and read a ton of comics from, like I said, the major indie publishers, all the way down to like, Kickstarter and like super indie self-published creators, Global Comics is a great way to do that. You can use the link in the show notes or description down below, and that'll take you to an affiliate page where you can get a 30% discount on the annual Gold Pass. So don't say I never gave you nothing. I gave you a Global Comics discount. Shout out to Global Comics for powering this segment. But On the Radar, these are books, new number ones, new jumping in points that sounded interesting, at least per their solicits. And so we're going to start things off with The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 1. So this is my second time. This will be my second time reading an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1 in hopes that I really love the series. Technically my third, but when I first got into comics, the then ongoing Amazing Spider-Man, which was written by Nick Spencer, it was like 30 issues in. I didn't pick up that run until issue 37, which I liked. There was some cool stuff, but all the stuff I liked in that run was like slice of life stuff, like Spider-Man having a pet monster. Anyway, I've been wanting to love Amazing Spider-Man since I got into comics because I love Spider-Man in all other forms of media. Most of my comic book shirts, like my t-shirt collection, most of my shirts have Spider-Man on them. Like this one. I thought I lost this one in the move. I hadn't seen this shirt in 3 months, or this hat. Turns out when you open boxes, you find things inside. But the point is, I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man on t-shirts. I love Spider-Man on posters. I love Spider-Man in cartoons, in films. But something about the Amazing Spider-Man in comics just doesn't move me. At least not modern comics. I did go back and read some of the JMS run, like during Civil War. And that stuff was great. I loved that. So here's to hoping that this new era of the Amazing Spider-Man feels more like that. It's going to be written by Joe Kelly and with art in part by Pepe Larraz and other parts by John Romita Jr. That's cool with me. I like John Romita Jr. It grew on me during the last run. There were some issues where it just didn't work with me. I think the coloring is probably what didn't work the most for me with John Romita Jr.'s work. But anyway, all I really can hope for in a Spider-Man book is that it will be fun and the art will be exciting. And so we got Pepe Larraz on art, so I know it's going to be exciting. I don't know how the book is going to read. I didn't read The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man that kind of was a bridge between the last era and this era. And from what I'm seeing from other people's reviews, it's probably for the best. But I'm going to give this one a shot because something just doesn't feel right if you don't have The Amazing Spider-Man on your pull list. At least for me. Cover price is $5.99. Next up is oh, yeah. See, I told you the on the radar section, if I'm completely honest with you, there are no new number ones besides The Amazing Spider Man that I'm crazy excited about. But two that sounded interesting: The Great British Bump Off, Kill or Be Quilt, number one. It's a new miniseries. There was a Great British Bump Off series before, which is like, I guess it's what it sounds like. It's like a game show, like the British Bake Off, but somebody gets killed, and so it's a murder mystery. And this was the same thing, but apparently with like a knitting group or something. So that sounds interesting. Could be fun. Could be funny, in a charming way. $4.99 on that. And then the other one was Valiant Beyond, Tales of the Shadow Man, issue number one. I don't know anything about the Shadow Man. I don't know a ton about the Valiant universe, but I did interview AJ Ampadu, who does the writing on this book, back when the resurgence of the Valiant universe was going on. And one thing I know about him is that he loves the Shadow Man and like getting to play with like the horror themes and stuff like that. Horror is kind of decidedly not my genre, but if you're into that, you should probably check out Tales of the Shadow Man. This whole Valiant Beyond era is meant to be the best jumping on point for new Valiant readers since 2012. So check it out. Sounds cool. And that's it for all the books on the radar. Like I said, not a ton of new comics, not a ton of new series debuts that were interesting for me this week. But now that's cool, because that means I'm not buying a bunch of extra books and I can take my time and focus on the Fledgling Four. Now, the Fledgling Four, these are books that have basically kind of sunk to the bottom of the pull list. Some of them, the story's just not quite keeping me, or I'm not quite sold on it long term. And others, I just have gotten so behind on that they're just kind of sitting there weighing down the stack. And so what I need to do is actually read these books, get caught up, and make a decision. Are these going to stay on the pull list or are they not? So we're going to start off the Fledgling Four with a book that's really not in any danger of getting dropped, but this is The Moon is Following Us, issue number 8. I just wanted to give a quick update because in the last month's installment, I told you guys that I needed a copy of The Moon is Following Us, issue number 6, because I just didn't pre-order the right cover. And so I want to shout out to my man Fod with 412 Comics in Pittsburgh. They actually got me right. They sent me a copy of The Moon is Following Us, issue number 6, the cover B specifically, which was what I wanted, by Daniel Warren Johnson. So now I can actually get caught up. This time around, for issue 8, ironically, I really like the cover A, but I've already committed. I'm getting cover Bs for this whole run. So that's where we are. Cover price on that's $3.99. Next up in the Fledgling Four is a series that I am caught up on. This is Green Lantern Corps, issue number 3. It's written by Jeremy Adams and Morgan Hampton, what I believe art by Fernando Passarin. Passarin. Pick one, but don't try to say it both ways. Anyway, Green Lantern Corps, there's a lot going on with this series, right? So like, the emotional spectrum is fractured and we're trying to kind of trying to recruit basically anyone who's, I don't want to say force sensitive, but like emotion sensitive, if you will. Like anyone who had any other Green Lantern or lantern ring color thing going on, kind of making them Green Lanterns for the time being, trying to build back the core and get control of the emotional spectrum. So we saw something very interesting with Red Lantern powers last week or last month. And it ended on a kind of cliffhanger that would, I assume, that had something to do with the Yellow Lantern rings. So maybe Sinestro will pop back up in this issue number 3. And then they're on Thanagar. There's a bunch going on. John Stewart and Hawkgirl might have sparks flying, which I don't know if that was ever a thing in comics. I know it was a thing on the animated series. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, though. And then that's probably it. That's probably all the real stuff going on. Here's where, because there are so many plot threads or subplots, and we're meeting so many different characters. We got like the one guy who used to be a Blue Lantern and also used to be a Red Lantern, and we got, Kilowog and all these different people. Because I specifically get lost when it's like too many different species. That's why I never watched Star Trek, right? And even Star Wars was a lot for me. So like on its head, on its face, I'm probably not a Green Lantern guy. I just buy books with Jon Stewart in them because I like Jon Stewart specifically. And so the more this is an ensemble, the more some threads get lost in my head, and I don't know what I'm latching on to. But I'm still hanging on for the time being. It probably needs a couple more issues to grow with me. Green Lantern Corps #3, cover price is $3.99. And then next up, the last two on the we might as well handle these both together. On the fledgling four, we got Batman and Robin issue 20 and Batman Dark Patterns issue 5. Batman Dark Patterns is written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman. And Batman and Robin #20, that's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Javi Fernandez. But all of that to say, I don't know. There's just too many Batman books. Like, I'm a very big Batman fan. There's a whole bunch of Batman books behind me all in a row. I love Batman. I love Batman so much, I'm subscribed to that stupid Fan Home Legend of Batman set, even though I own most of the stories that they send me every month in these books behind me. I love Batman, but there's like 18 Batman books. Right now, I am pulling Batman, which is like in the Hush 2 storyline right now, Detective Comics, Batman and Robin, Batman Dark Patterns. I feel like I'm missing some now that I'm trying to name them all. Batman and Robin Year 1, Mark Waid. Batman Full Moon just wrapped up, but that one, the Batman Hush facsimile reprints, because why not? The point is, there at any given moment, there's like 8 Batman books on the pull list, and there's like $30 every month worth of Batman that never gets read because the only Batman I'm actually caught up on is Absolute Batman. There we go. That was the 8th book that I forgot about. Absolute Batman. Sometimes you got to say enough is enough, except I haven't said that. I just keep buying these books and hoping that, I don't know, I'll just magically get a bunch of time to read them all. The struggle of being a Batman fan. $4.99 is the cover price on each of those. Put me out of my misery. Now that I've done my Batman rant for the week, let's talk about the books that I am trade waiting for. This segment is called Trade Waiting. These aren't books that I'm necessarily waiting for. These are new trade paperbacks that I think could be interesting to you if you are a trade waiter. And this week is a Marvel heavy week for sure. We're finally getting Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, Volume 1 in a trade paperback. I did read it and I liked it. And I was kind of mad that I liked it because I talked all that trash about their publishing schedule after this volume when the Rada Graymalkin starts and all that. But I like this volume of Uncanny X-Men. Gail Simone, Dave Marquez. That one's got a cover price of $19.99. We also got X Factor by Mark Russell, Volume 1, which I believe that series has already come to an end. I don't remember. But X Factor, basically, you've got this team who is basically like government-sponsored superheroes with a reality show. So it's like kind of taking that Young Avengers thing from the Civil War and bringing it to the X-Men. And it's interesting because it's like different team members might die off or like they're doing things for ratings. And of course, there's Mark Russell, so there's like a sort of like satire and social commentary in it. I really enjoyed the first 2 issues and then I fell off. So great time to grab the trade paperback. This collects the first 5 or 6 issues. Cover price on it is $17.99. Next up, Venom War, Wolverine, and Deadpool. This actually collects Venom War, Wolverine. Those are 3 issues. Venom War, Deadpool, which are also 3 issues. And Venom War, Carnage, which are another 3 issues. So 9 issues in this trade paperback for $24.99. A great value if you are reading the Venom War stuff. The main event, Venom War, came out in trade paperback last week. So grab that, then grab this. Just a heads up, as far as Venom War tie-ins, we also have Venom War, Spider-Man, and Lethal Protectors coming out. And then I think that's it on the Venom War tie-ins. So a lot of Venom War going on. Shout out to Al Ewing. $24.99, like I said, on that trade paperback. And the last one I wanted to shout out from Image Comics is The Violator. trade paperback. Not to be confused with the Violator. I feel like there was a Spawn's Universe Violator title that came out recently. This isn't that. This is the original Violator miniseries. I think it was 3 or 4 issues from like 1994, written by Alan Moore. So if you wanted to read Alan Moore writing Spawn characters, here's your chance. And the cover price on that is only $9.99. It survived the tariff. Sorry, too soon. Bad joke. That's it. Those are all the books in the trade waiting pile and all the books in my pull list this week. Which ones are you grabbing? Are you mad at the Batman office for flooding the market too? Can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. Are you excited about Amazing Spider-Man? These are questions that I'd love you to answer in the comments down below or in our private communities on Facebook and Discord. Links are all in the description. I'll see you in another video soon. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.